Okay, welcome to the second high scoring session. So in the previous one I high scored episode A6. Just to sort of recap what I've been doing right now at the moment is I'm campaigning through the solo tab or the N++ tab, and I do that in order and by columns. So far I've done the first 6 columns, I think. I have skipped a couple of episodes here and there, and I was up to A6, which is the one that I high scored in the previous stream. So normally what I'm doing is I'm campaigning from scratch, so I'm working on the episode 0 and as many level 0s as I can. This is what we did the other day, the episode and this 0, so now I have 3 level 0s, and as I said, I'm satisfied with that pretty much. So now I'm going to move on to the next one, and as you can see I already have the episode. I don't know when it is from, because I don't recall this doing recently, so it might just be a 2016 run. But I checked the cleanliness and it's pretty decent, so I'm actually not going to do the episode again. But obviously the levels need some retouching. So this first one is not the case. This is a framework. It seems like it. I'm actually very surprised when I saw Mishu tying it. I mean, this seems to suggest maybe it is maxed, so that's pretty satisfactory. But all the other 4s I don't have them, so I only have this one at 2016 run, and all the other ones, again, these are 2016 runs probably, maybe except for this one, because I might have played that one a couple of years ago. So let's go ahead and work on these levels. Since we are not constricted by the episode now, we can go in any order. So I think I'm going to start with the one that seems to be the easiest one, no disrespect intended of course, just based on the cleanliness of the run. But we shall see. It's not wise to talk without actually playing the level, because I might be wrong here. So let's see. Oof, I forgot what I have to do at the beginning. Okay. You want to jump straight to this platform and then sort of do this. Now this is clearly... Ooh, I died there. That is weird. Not really sure what happened. But yeah, it's very tight to sort of avoid hitting the... Ooh, man, I forgot what I have to do there. I completely forgot. Let me check it out real quick. This jump, he does it very, very cleanly. Then you avoid that. Okay, he goes over the death ball in such a way. Again, it seemed like it was the most reasonable one to take, but you never know until you actually play it. It is a 0, so no matter what, it's going to be a good run. Oh, okay, yeah. So you don't actually survive that height. Okay. I was surprised when it happened the first time, but I can tell now that, yeah, you just don't survive that. Okay, so you need to slow down just a smooch. Just a smooch. So the other day was about episode 0s, mainly because I already had... We did take one level 0, but mostly I already had them. So the main course was the episode. But now it's going to be levels because I already have the episode. 950. Yeah, that's not too far. 0 is 143. So it's a very tight jump, this one over here. This is actually, it contains a couple of tight spots, like this one for instance is obviously also tight. Okay, that's 0. I guess the initial suspicions were correct. Now I'm sure that, as I said, I already have this one, now I have this, so that's 2. And I think, as I already said in the other one, I typically like to aim between 3 to 4 level 0s on average per episode if I can. So that's typically where I juggle. Now, sometimes, if it's impossible, you know, or very difficult, I'll go for 2, and then maybe that gets compensated with some 5ers in there. But typically, it's between 3 and 4. So the average is 3.5, and that gives me the sort of final average that I want. I've just, you know, through hundreds and hundreds of things that I've high scored so far, that is the average that seems to work best for me. Like what I typically, no matter what tab I am, that's generally a good aim. Anyway, enough blabbering. Let's actually go and play another one. There are 3 levels left. I think this one from Nightwish is probably going to be the toughest one, because I already remember the run. Plus it's a Nightwish 0, and that is a seal of quality. So I'm going to go for one of these 2 now. Now which one it is? Let's try this one first. Now he does a launch pad jump, and you want to hit the ceiling there. Then you fall through there. It's kind of tight. That tight squeeze is going to depend on the position of the micro drone. I think you have to slow down here a little, just a little bit, just a smooch. Otherwise you get killed, I think. Let me just try. I think you have to slow down just barely. Just barely. So then you sort of do you want to do a launch pad jump. I'm pretty sure that's going to be tight, right? You can already tell. Well, of course you have the micro drones, which make it tight, and then you have the mines at the top. So that's not going to be, that's not a trivial thing. So I can only hope. You can also hit the ones at the top. You know, the interesting thing is, when it comes to doing this in such a tight manner, it can actually become, the micro drones can be quite unstable because they're moving, and if you really need that pixel perfection, then you know, it's then it can really matter on the exact position of the micro drones, and that's that can be a toughie. Yes. Oh, that's a 0. What the hell? Okay. And I thought I actually wall jumped a bit too late. I might have lost 1 or 2 frames at the very end there. Okay, well, that was pleasantly surprisingly quick. So I guess let's move on to this one now. I'm pretty sure this is going to be very clean. Oh, he does a full jump. Interesting. He does a full jump. That is very, very interesting. So he falls here and then full jump. And I have 783, certainly from 2016, most likely. Most of the stuff in this tab, other than the stuff that I've just been doing in the first few columns, is from 2016. You know what? I think the setup for the last wall slide might be consistent, and that's pretty good, because when I saw the replay, I felt, holy shit, this is tight. But I think it is consistent. You just need to do a full jump there. As soon as you fall on the platform, do a full jump. And then, I think that's what I did, at least in the previous run. And then basically you want to slide for a certain amount of time. Now that is probably very tight. Like, there's a certain number of frames that work in sliding. So that's still going to be tight, but at least the setup itself is consistent, or at least that's what it seems so far. I hope I've not just been extremely lucky by getting it so soon in the 750 run. $950. I didn't do the setup. I actually released the arrow a little bit. Anyway, I need 0.15 more. Which is of course very clean. I wouldn't expect any less from trance. So I don't know, we'll see. As usual, you can't miss that goal, can you? Because now you don't, when you fall here, yeah, you don't take it. I mean, maybe it's still worth it. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you can miss it, so deliberately. That allows you to do the subsequent jump faster and then slow down a bit. You know what, the problem is if you do it this way, 967, that was actually good. But as I said, the problem is if you do it that way, then you can kiss goodbye to the setup. So I think it doesn't compensate, honestly, because the setup, the final wall slide is very, very tight. It's very tight. There's not a lot of room there. So kissing the setup goodbye is, I don't think, is a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea. 6-7. We get in there. Although that was particularly good. It's probably not representative of the point at which I currently am in the level. You need to hit the wall there. You want to optimize naturally. You want to jump as low as possible, but at the same time enough so that you hit the wall. you could think that you don't need to hit the wall. Why do you want to hit the wall? Well, basically the reason is that obviously makes the next jump much easier, and you can do it much faster. So you don't need to hit the wall, but then you would probably lose time. It's not just making it easier, it's just making it so that you can wall jump the first frame that you reach the wall. Whereas in the other situation, yeah, this is low. In the other situation, you're not guaranteed. 950. It seems like I've already gotten that several times. That's the range in which, I don't know, the critical range, I guess we could say. This is a bit better, but because I touched the, oh no, I'm not. Although I think I did slide a bit too much. Nah, I slid way too much there. So I think this part, at the very ending, I thought was going to be critical, but now because of the setup, I think the critical part is now the switch. Yeah, the setup makes this very consistent. Wow, it is indeed very consistent. I'm so happy the setup is so easy. Of course, if it's easy for everyone. So it's not like an unfair advantage, but damn, still 950. I was expecting a bit more. Okay. You know, this is an interesting level. It's just pure movement, no enemies. Yeah, there are enemies, but for the challenges. The level itself is a pure parkour level. It's just movement, right? Cutting corners. Good old cleaning. Oof. I slid for too much there. Been pretty lucky, I think, with the first two levels. That is not, to be clear, that's not the average. That's not normal. It's not unheard of, but it's not average. I don't know what the average is. 83, that's a bit better, nice. Still need a couple of frames. I don't know what the average is, honestly, because there's a lot of variability and potential, you know, long levels that take hours or whatever. I wonder if it's maybe half an hour or, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that. But yeah, it depends a lot. Somewhere in that range, I think. It is definitely below, I think, based just off the top of my head, it's definitely below an hour, but other than that, I'd say around half an hour sounds fine. I've jumped too much here. Yeah, there's not a lot to say about this level, so you know, the essential stuff has already been said. It's not any more interesting, intricate details that, at least not that I found so far. Maybe after a little longer playing. Oh no. Maybe after a little while I come across some other interesting detail that is like interesting, in which case of course I'll say it. I'm thinking about possible ways to make this faster, but I can't really think of anything right now. This is good. If I don't fuck up, I think I did. Well, 50. I didn't fuck up. I slid for a bit too long. No? Yeah, no. That's yeah, the switch, as we said, is tight. I mean, like, ideally, from the perspective of like passing this level, maybe Mishu is interested in hearing this. I think you can, instead of doing what we're doing, which is sort of, you could hit the corner here, and that would allow you to start falling. It's a way to actually be falling pretty early. Oh fuck, that was good. Be falling pretty early but still hit the wall, unlike what I just did. Six, 7. Okay, I was a bit worried when I started playing, because I was getting all these 0.950s and they were looking fine. Didn't really, but now that I've gotten you know, after a bit of time, I've gotten the 83 and several 67s and so on. Now it is looking much more within reach. I mean, I guess this is typically what happens, but not always. Sometimes it does look unreachable, and you play it, and it is unreachable. Yeah, I jumped too much there anyway. I think you want to grab 2 pieces of gold, I guess. I mean, that was still too big a jump, I think. Man, there's just not a lot to clean here. I died. It was slower anyway. There's just not a lot to clean. Like, it's like, at all. Like, there are not many places where you can say, oh, okay, I'll clean this. Everything is, it's just short and yeah, nothing, no trick. Well, I mean, to be honest, I haven't really thought about it. Yeah, this is horrible. I haven't really thought about it. Maybe I should stop a little bit and actually think a bit more thoroughly about the possibility of an in-off here. Again, pretty bad. I think I slid there in the wall. That's gonna cost me some frames. It was still above 104 though. That's good. But yeah, as I was saying, there is just such a pure level. There's just not a lot to clean here. It's the switch part really that you want to optimize, but even then, he again slid there. This wasn't happening before, so that must be I'm not really paying sufficient attention. No. Well, it was still slower anyway. Might have been 83 if I had slid, or no, not 83, sorry, maybe 67, if that. I don't know what to think about this run. Some parts were good, but some others weren't. Maybe I could get rid of that setup. The one of hitting the wall, as I said. Who knows? Because it really, if you want to hit the wall, you really have to jump more, and because of that you lose time. Maybe it is worth it, maybe it compensates. I can try. Okay, yeah, you know what, let's try it for a little bit. Just any little change. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the jump, and when I see that it's a bit too big, then I'll go for the wall. But if it's very tight and I see that I'm just not gonna reach the wall, then I'll not stop the run there. I'll continue and oh yeah, I slid way too much there. I really want to think if there's a better way to do this, because these last few frames are going to be apparently difficult. That's what I was talking about when I mentioned tassing the level, by the way. Hitting the corner there, and as a consequence being able to jump less without missing the wall. Though I guess if you're tassing it, you don't actually need the wall at all, because you can still wall jump perfectly. 50, that was without using the wall, was it? Wasn't it? Oh, okay. '83. I felt it was good. Didn't want to say anything in case it wasn't good enough. which of course has turned out to be the result, but it was clean. I need 2 more frames. Yeah, it's just interesting because again there are relatively big spreads here in this level, but it is still very tight. It's not like you can expect to just go ahead and clean. Oh shit, this is 0. Nice. As I was saying, it's not like you can just come along and say, you know, look at the spreads and say, yeah, surely you can clean 0.1 or 0.2. Like, this is very tight. Well, I guess, yeah, really, you can tell the framework nature by looking at the scores. They're typically spread 1, 2, or 3 frames. It's actually the lead that Trans had over Sela was the biggest lead in the entire board, actually. It is tied in here. Anyhow, so this is the episode. I already had the episode. Let me just recap. I have the episode, and we just finished taking 3 levels. I already had 1, so this is 4. This is already good. Like, this is already on track, on average, as I said. I have 3 levels here, so now I have 4 level zeros here. So I'm therefore maintaining the average that I was referring to. I guess I should play this a little bit. You know, I am kind of, I mean, it is obviously a run by Nightwish. And I remember playing this very recently. Well, not very recently, but it's not in 2016, but rather when I returned. So this is already maybe 2018. And so I remember playing this, retaking it from Nightwish, and then Nightwish taking it again. And interesting. Oof. All right, let me just look at it one more time. Okay. Do a double jump there. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, woof. That ending is clean. This is, I guess I should play it a bit. Like, it makes no sense to leave without playing this level now. So I'm gonna play it for a little bit, but I'm not very confident in actually being able to take it. So therefore, as I said in the previous episode, if I don't end up taking this, I may just cut the video here, because, you know, like, otherwise I would be playing the level without success, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense. So if I don't take it, I'm gonna grind it for a bit now, and then if I don't take it, I'm probably just going to cut it from the video, because, you know, if it's not successful, then what's the point? And I've already shown the other runs which were successful, so it is not wasted time. Alright guys, well, this is Eddie, I think 30, I don't remember when I started, but at least half an hour later, if not 40 minutes, maybe closer to 40 minutes, yeah. And no, I haven't been able to take it. And as I said, I didn't really, I don't feel like grinding it for more. So you can see, I guess by looking at the attempt number, oh fucking hell, man. I guess by looking at the attempt number, you can sort of figure out how long I spent, but somewhere along those lines. And I did improve my run a little bit, a couple of frames, from 450 to 483. But yeah, as expected, the run from Nightwish was very clean. I already remember when I high scored this a couple of years ago. I remember the 450 felt pretty clean, and then and that was, I was battling it with Nightwish back then. He took it back, and yeah, 0.1 more is just, it seems out of reach. I did find a little change, a little innovation that I think is a bit faster. Basically, doing a triple in here seems to work faster, and that allowed me to actually get a 0.533 G++ minus 1. So maybe instead of cutting everything like I've done, I will now put that little piece there, the the G minus the AGD minus 1 run. Oh my lord. 533. I was completely absent-minded there. But yeah, this zero I already knew it was very tight, and yeah, I don't really feel like continuing to play it now. I'm already starting to lose focus, sort of numbing out if you wish, and that's usually not good. It sometimes helps if you're grinding a very short frame war, but in general you don't want to numb out, because if you do that, you're not focused, and generally the efficiency drops down dramatically. So you don't want to do that, and that's what's starting to happen to me now. So yeah, there was a brief period of clarity there where I managed to get over 0.5 in a few runs, but missing a gold. But in general, all the runs that I thought were good were around the 0.45 range. In other words, 0.1 below what I need, and they were all very consistently there. They felt good. So what that means is that I'm not close. I don't think I'm close to taking it. It's not like, oh, the innovation really made me think, okay, now maybe I am close. But it only really allowed to improve things by 3 frames or so. But I'm still 3 frames away, and that's going to be good for now. So anyway, I guess let's see you on the next episode. See you around.